Welcome to Module 8, Lesson 3. Our I can statement is, I can use area models and partial products to multiply two-digit numbers. So in this lesson, we're going to revisit area models, but this time we're multiplying two-digit numbers, whereas before we were multiplying multi-digit numbers by a single digit. In Dr. Brewer's art class, students will be making 15 rag rugs. Each rug uses 14 yards of fabric. How many yards of fabric will be needed to make all the rag rugs? Letter A asks us, how can you find the number of yards of fabric needed? Well, we know that there's 15 rugs, and each of those 15 rugs needs 14 yards. So what do we need to do? We can multiply 15 rugs times 14 yards for each rug. Okay, so now we need to create an area model. Now, if you remember when we made an area model before, we needed to use expanded form to help us create that area model. This time, both of our factors can be written in expanded form. 15 is equal to 10 plus 5, and 14 is equal to 10 plus 4. So you're going to see this time we have 4 factors that we're working with. When we create this area model, it's going to look like this. We're going to have 4 partial products. So we're multiplying 15, 10 plus 5, times 14, 10 plus 4. All right, so let's go ahead and start with our first partial product. This line is equal to 10, and this line is equal to 10. So the equation for this section is 10 times 10. So we can go ahead and write that over to the side. 10 times 10, which is equal to 100. Okay, so now let's move to the right. This line is still equal to 10. We have this line up here that's equal to 4. So our equation in this one is 10 times 4, which is equal to 40. Okay, now we'll move down to this section. We now have 5. This line here is still equal to 10. So our equation here is 5 times 10, which is equal to 50. Right, and lastly, this little section still equal to 5. And this section is still equal to 4. So our equation here is 5 times 4, which is equal to 20. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the next section. Letter C is what we just did. How do we write multiplication equations to find the partial products? We have written them, we have recorded the equations. So now what do we need to do with these partial products in order to find the whole product? We need to add the partial products. Okay, go ahead and add those partial products now. Okay, let's go ahead and check. We have 100 plus 40 plus 50 plus 20. I know 40 plus 50 plus 20 is equal to 110, plus 100 is equal to 210. So in total, they will need 210 yards of fabric to make the rugs. All right, number 2. In the storage closet, there are 17 different types of paintbrushes with 25 of each type. How many paintbrushes are there? Step A, break apart the factor into tens and ones. So go ahead and write it in expanded form. Pause the video if you need any more time. All right, so we have 10 and 7 and 20 and 3. We need to label the area model. You'll see it has 2 of our factors already written. We need to make sure that we're keeping them in the right spots. So it's not 13 and 27. It's 17 and 23. So now we're going to go ahead and use the distributive property to find the partial products. It has our first equation written here. 10 times 20. So now let's think about the equation that would be in the yellow box. We know that we have 2. This line here is equal to 10. I had to fix my 3 there. So we know that we have 10 times those 3 ones there. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and take a look at this blue section. This line is equal to 7. This one is equal to 20. So we have 7 times 20. And lastly, our red box is 7 and 3. Okay, so now we need to go ahead and find what our partial products are and then add them all up. So 10 times 20 is the same as 10 times 2 tens, which would be 20 tens, or 200. 10 times 3 is 30. 7 times 20 is 7 times 2 tens, which is 14 tens, or 140. And then we have 7 times 3 ones, which is 21. Go ahead and add these partial products to find the whole product. Pause if you need any more time. Okay, I found that these partial products added together were 51 plus 140 was equal to 191. Then I added my 200 to 191 and got my answer of 391. So I know that there are 391 paintbrushes in the storage closet. All right, go ahead and complete check understanding. Press pause and press play when you're ready to check your work. All right, so over here you can see my partial products. When I use area models, I like to add them across so that it's easier for me to add vertically. That way I'm not trying to add 4 partial products at once. I'm just doing 2 at a time. Right, so you get your answer of 208.